power of patience. Chapter 1. The Impatient Young Man. Once upon a time, there was a young man named Alex who was very impatient. He always wanted things to happen immediately. If he was waiting in line at the store, he would tap his foot and sigh. If he was studying for a test, he would get frustrated if he didn't understand something right away. And if he was working on a project, he would want to finish it as quickly as possible, even if it meant not doing his best work. Alex's impatience caused him many problems in his life. He made rash decisions that he often regretted later. He missed opportunities because he was too eager to move on to the next thing, and he alienated others with his demanding and critical attitude. One day, Alex was walking through the park when he saw an old man sitting on a bench. The old man was smiling and seemed to be completely at peace. Alex was intrigued by the old man's serenity, so he sat down next to him and asked him how he managed to stay so calm and collected. The old man smiled and said, "I have learned the power of patience." Alex was curious to learn more, so the old man told him his story. "When I was young, I was just as impatient as you are," the old man said. "I always wanted things to happen immediately, but I soon learned that impatience is a recipe for unhappiness. It leads to stress, frustration, and anger, and it often leads us to make mistakes." The old man continued, "One day I was walking through the forest when I came across a wise old teacher. He taught me that patience is the key to a happy and fulfilling life. He said that patience is not just about waiting, but also about accepting things as they are and having faith that things will work out in the end." The old man took a deep breath and said, "I have been practicing patience for many years now, and I can tell you that it is the most important thing I have ever learned. Patience has brought me peace of mind, joy, and happiness. It has helped me to achieve my goals and to build strong relationships with others." Alex was inspired by the old man's story. He realized that he needed to learn to be more patient. He knew that it would be a challenge, but he was determined to change. The old man smiled and said, "I am glad that my story has inspired you. Patience is a virtue that everyone should cultivate. It is the key to a happy and fulfilling life." Alex thanked the old man for his wisdom and then went on his way. He was determined to learn the power of patience. Chapter 2. The Old Man's Advice. Alex decided to take the old man's advice to heart. He started by practicing patience in his daily life. He would take deep breaths when he felt himself getting impatient. He would also try to look at the positive side of things, even when things were difficult. At first, it was difficult for Alex to be patient. He would often get frustrated and impatient, especially when things were not going his way. But he kept practicing, and eventually, he started to see a difference. One day, Alex was waiting in line at the grocery store. The line was long and slow-moving, and Alex started to get impatient. But he remembered the old man's advice and he took a deep breath. He reminded himself that everyone was in a hurry and that he just needed to be patient. Alex also started to look at the positive side of things. He realized that he had time to think about his plans for the weekend and to listen to his music. He also started to make small talk with the people around him. By the time Alex reached the front of the line, he was in a good mood. He had made new friends, and he had learned to be more patient. Alex continued to practice patience in all areas of his life. He was more patient with his friends and family. He was more patient at work, and he was more patient with himself. One day, Alex was working on a difficult project at work. He was struggling to understand a complex concept, and he was starting to get frustrated. But he remembered the old man's advice and he took a deep breath. He reminded himself that it was okay to not understand something right away. He just needed to keep trying. Alex took a break from the project and went for a walk. He cleared his head and came back to the project with a fresh perspective. He was able to understand the concept and finish the project on time. Alex was grateful for the old man's advice. He had learned that patience is a powerful virtue. It can help us to achieve our goals, build strong relationships, and live happier and more fulfilling lives. The old man's advice to Alex can be summarized as follows. 1. Patience is the key to a happy and fulfilling life. 2. Patience is not just about waiting, but also about accepting things as they are and having faith that things will work out in the end. 3. Patience can be learned and practiced. 4. Patience can help us to achieve our goals, build strong relationships, and live happier and more fulfilling lives. Chapter 3. The Test of Patience. Alex had been practicing patience for several months, and he had made great progress. He was more patient with his friends and family, more patient at work, and more patient with himself. One day, Alex was walking through the park when he saw the old man again. The old man smiled and waved to Alex. Alex sat down next to the old man and asked, "How can I know if I have truly learned the power of patience?" The old man smiled and said, "I have a test for you." The old man led Alex to a nearby rock and said, "Sit on this rock and wait for a bird to land on your head." Alex was confused, but he sat down on the rock and waited. After a few minutes, Alex started to get impatient. He looked around hoping to see a bird, but there were none. After 10 minutes, Alex was starting to get really frustrated. He stood up and said, "This is a silly test. I'm not going to sit here all day waiting for a bird to land on my head." The old man smiled and said, "You have not yet learned the power of patience." Alex was disappointed. He had been practicing patience for so long and he thought he had made progress. But the old man's test had shown him otherwise. The old man said, "Patience is not just about waiting. It is also about having faith and accepting things as they are. You must be patient with yourself and with the world around you." Alex took a deep breath and said, "I understand. I will try again." Alex sat back down on the rock and waited. He didn't look around this time. He just focused on his breath and on the feeling of the sun on his skin. After a while, Alex felt a light touch on his head. He looked up and saw a small bird sitting on his head. Alex smiled. He had passed the old man's test. The old man nodded and said, "You have learned the power of patience." Alex stood up and thanked the old man for his wisdom. He knew that he would never forget the lesson he had learned that day. The old man's test of patience is a simple one, but it is very effective. It teaches us that patience is not just about waiting, but also about having faith and accepting things as they are. When we are patient, we are not struggling against the current. We are trusting that the current will take us to where we need to go. Patience is a powerful virtue, and it is one that we should all strive to cultivate. Chapter 4: The Rewards of Patience. Alex continued to practice patience in his daily life. He found that it was not always easy, but it was always worth it. One day, Alex was interviewed for a promotion at work. He had been working hard for this promotion for a long time, and he was really nervous. The interview went well, but Alex didn't hear back from the company for several weeks. He started to get worried. He thought that he hadn't gotten the promotion, but Alex remembered the old man's advice. He took a deep breath and reminded himself to be patient. He knew that it would take time for the company to make a decision. A few days later, Alex received a call from the company. He had gotten the promotion. Alex was so happy. He realized that his patience had paid off. If he had been impatient and given up, he would have missed out on this amazing opportunity. Alex's patience was also rewarded in his personal life. He became a better friend and family member. He was more supportive and understanding, and he was able to build stronger relationships. Alex also found that patience helped him to be more creative and productive. When he was patient, he was able to take his time and think carefully about his work. He was also able to persevere through challenges and setbacks. Alex realized that patience is a powerful virtue. It can help us to achieve our goals, build strong relationships, and live happier and more fulfilling lives. Chapter 5: The Young Man's Journey. Alex had learned the power of patience, and he was determined to use it to help others. He decided to embark on a journey to teach people about the importance of patience and to help them to develop their own patience. Alex traveled to many different places and met many different people. He taught them about the benefits of patience and how to practice it in their daily lives. Alex also helped people to solve their problems and to achieve their goals by teaching them the importance of patience. One day, Alex met a young woman named Sarah who was very impatient. She always wanted things to happen immediately, and she would often get frustrated and angry when things didn't go her way. Alex talked to Sarah about the importance of patience and how it could help her in her life. He also taught her some techniques for practicing patience. At first, Sarah was skeptical. She didn't believe that patience could really help her. But Alex was patient with her, and he continued to teach her about the benefits of patience. Over time, Sarah started to change. She became more patient and understanding. She also started to see more success in her life. One day, Sarah came to Alex and thanked him for teaching her about patience. She told him that it had changed her life for the better. Alex was happy to see that Sarah had benefited from his teachings. He knew that he was making a difference in the world by teaching people about the power of patience. Alex continued his journey, teaching people about the importance of patience and helping them to develop their own patience. He knew that patience was a powerful virtue that could help people to live happier and more fulfilling lives. Chapter 6: The Power of Patience. Alex had traveled the world, teaching people about the power of patience. He had seen firsthand the many benefits of patience, both for individuals and for society as a whole. Alex had learned that patience is not just about waiting. It is also about having faith and accepting things as they are. When we are patient, we are not struggling against the current. We are trusting that the current will take us to where we need to go. Alex had also learned that patience is a powerful virtue. It can help us to achieve our goals, build strong relationships, and live happier and more fulfilling lives. Here are some of the specific ways in which patience can benefit us. Patience helps us to achieve our goals. When we are patient, we are more likely to stick to our goals and see them through to completion. We are also less likely to make rash decisions that could jeopardize our success. Patience helps us to build stronger relationships. Patience helps us to be more understanding and supportive of others. It also helps us to resolve conflicts peacefully and constructively. Patience helps us to live happier and more fulfilling lives. Patience helps us to appreciate the present moment and to enjoy the simple things in life. It also helps us to be more resilient in the face of adversity. In a world that is often fast-paced and demanding, it can be difficult to be patient. But it is important to remember that patience is a virtue that is worth cultivating. It is a virtue that can help us to live better lives. Chapter 7: The Young Man's Transformation. Alex had traveled the world, teaching people about the power of patience. He had seen firsthand the many benefits of patience, both for individuals and for society as a whole. Alex had also been transformed by his own experiences. He had become a more patient, understanding, and compassionate person. He had also learned to appreciate the simple things in life and to live in the present moment. One day, Alex returned to his hometown. He visited his old friends and family, and he was amazed to see how much they had changed. They had all become more patient and understanding people. Alex realized that his teachings about patience had made a difference in the world. He had helped people to live happier and more fulfilling lives. Alex was grateful for the opportunity to teach people about the power of patience. He knew that it was a virtue that everyone should cultivate. Alex's transformation is a reminder that patience is a virtue that can change our lives for the better. When we are patient, we become more understanding, compassionate, and resilient. We also learn to appreciate the simple things in life and to live in the present moment. If we want to live happier and more fulfilling lives, we should all strive to cultivate patience. It is a virtue that can benefit us in all areas of our lives. The story of the power of patience is a reminder that patience is a powerful virtue that can help us to achieve our goals, build strong relationships, and live happier and more fulfilling lives. It is a virtue that is worth cultivating in all areas of our lives. If you want to live a better life, I encourage you to practice patience. Start by taking small steps, such as taking a deep breath when you feel yourself getting impatient, or reminding yourself that it's okay to not have everything right away. Over time, you will find that patience becomes easier and easier to practice. And as you become more patient, you will start to see the many benefits that patience can bring into your life.